better land gains.
Let's hope they stop funding it with all of our money. That would be great. Maybe spend a little here for our people.
Yeah, that's not what they'll do. That's not what they'll do at all. They'll just do a tax cut for corporations or something.
Yeah,
that's what they did before.
This is money well spent.
Into another proxy war.
Loving it. This is our fate. This is the best proxy war we've had. Maybe
you're
ever.
Crazy.
This is better. This is like Afghanistan 1 when we were given the stingers to the Mujahideen, the gallant men of the Mujahideen. Those Russians came over.
Yes. And Afghanistan panned out so well.
I mean, not for the Russians.
Yeah, Taylor, I don't think anything ever went wrong.
Don't bring up Afghanistan 2 when I'm talking about Afghanistan 1.
I mean, it's a series.
Bringing up 9/11.
That's Afghanistan. That's why
you're crazy if you just want to fund it forever.
Against the common advice, I have forgotten 9/11, and it was a really good idea to fund the Afghanis.
Yeah, we should fund this as long as they want to fight.
You're crazy.
It's beautiful. It's a great thing. No Americans are dying, Taylor. It's just it's just pennies. It's just pennies, not a big deal. Yeah, pennies, Don't worry about it.
Enormous sums of money.
Tiny amounts of money in the grand scheme of things.
It's so much
it's
money.
Kyle's right though.
Here's how I think of it. Not only are we, because our weapon systems are doing so well, all those countries around the world who are seeing the planet a bit destabilized right now are like, give me $1 billion worth of American shit. Give me $2 billion of it. So we're selling lots of weapons right now, which is a great thing.
Wait, your problem was that the money wasn't going to go to American people, but it goes to Halliburton and Lockheed, and so it's like good now.
Yes.
So wait, you wanted it to go to American people, but now that it goes to American people, you're not happy? Come on,
those aren't American people. Those are
some are.
Giant
they make the shells in Alabama,
companies.
Taylor. They make the shells in Alabama.
Why don't we fix our roads and get universal healthcare?
They make the shells in Alabama, Taylor. Do you care about? Oh, now it's big business and infrastructure, but the poor son bitch in Alabama that's making artillery shells.
Give me healthcare.
He's getting triple overtime. God damn it, Taylor. This is great for our economy, which needs it right now because we're about to slip into that recession they've been talking about for half a decade. It's wonderful.
But this time it's real.
This time it's real. We promise. The economists scream, and I don't know anything enough to disagree. But this is wonderful, Taylor. Like our enemies are bleeding. All right. So think about it this way: we were already going to spend X amount of money on, say, national defense. That's based on the threats around the world, right? We're like, we need to be able to fight a global war on two different oceans, right? That's been our military mantra since World War II. Every day the Russians get weaker as a military. That means we don't need as big of a military anymore. Now, I'm not saying they're going to cut the military, but if a war were to pop off between us and Russia proper, man, it's going to be a weakened Russia. It's going to be a weakened Russia. They look bad in front of their allies. It's easier for us to make deals and bully China and win little territorial things because their ally Russia looks
tangible
so shitty, and
games for Americans, though.
Tangible. You want tangibility and geopolitics? This is fun. This is James Bond.
No. We want better. Roads
they sent a commando in on a jet ski the other day, and he got
we could do that at like a show off the
that
coast.
Guy's ass right now. It wasn't our guy though. That's the best part, Taylor. It's their guys. They just want some spending money.
I can't believe you guys are still in favor.
I love it. I love it. I can't wait till we really start giving them. I'm glad the Abrams tanks are about to arrive that they've been training on for a whole year. I can't wait to see that. One's never been destroyed by a hostile like fire.
I think they've arrived.
Well, I want to see them on the battlefield. I want to see. I've already seen propaganda of burnt ones on the battlefield. From
Can't you just watch movies?
Like in movies, they don't have Abrams in movies. They dress up chieftains and stuff.
I watch combat footage. Movies.
This is great. I don't know what your
not a very good ROI.
You
it's
don't
the best
American
ROI
dollars
ever.
Actually getting some.
It's
some
not
work done.
We spent it's like 3% of our defense budget goes.
That's
to
so much
it's
money.
A tiny amount, but it's compared to our defense budget, it means nothing. And it's not like we're giving them new Humvees. We're giving them Humvees that we would have otherwise sent to police or just mothballed.
What were we going to do with those artillery
20-year-old
shells,
Humvees that were
going to be?
Who are we
going to artillery strike, Taylor? Who?
We could have spent it on something else.
Taylor, we're giving them artillery. I'm just.
It doesn't.
Saying.
Yeah, I don't. I feel like you're locked up and it has to go to the army.
They make them in Alabama. They make the artillery shells in Alabama, and they make the anti-tank rockets in Alabama. And there's a dude in Alabama named Pete, and he's got double overtime because we're funding Zelensky, and I like that.
Printing money, and inflation is ridiculous.
What's new? It's $33 trillion. Did you know that's the deficit?
It's going up every day.
Trillion.
More than ever in a day, a couple days ago.
No one cares, though. That's made up money. A trillion's an impossible number to even fathom. I don't care.
It's definitely real money. It's
I don't think it is. I don't believe it is. I think once you get to 33 trillion, we're at the point where everyone knows that, like, hey, if we were to actually try to make the U.S. pay, we would just start some sort of a global war with us, right? And then they would change just like press delete and ask if we wanted peace, right? I think it'll be okay, Taylor. Make it 35 trillion and let's kill some Ruskies.
Can we get like
Genius
universal health care in there at some point?
No, Taylor, we don't have money for universal health care. Stop being ridiculous.
Yes, universal health care can only happen though if we get those borders under control. Because I'm not paying for all those Ukrainian war victims. All right, you lose your limbs in Crimea. I'm not paying for that. Okay, I'll give you the bombs.
Building the wall.
You get a peg leg, maybe.
He's building the wall again. He's gonna
I don't know if again, but yeah. Apparently there are like some rules he just waived and he's building the wall. Apparently, this is a place where Mexicans are crossing the border and they would benefit from a wall, and Biden's for it.
Actually,
okay.
Build 2 walls.
Because I do my research even further left than Woody. Biden said, they asked Biden, do you believe the border wall works? Nope, it will not help. I did everything I could to take that money that had been appropriated for border walls and do anything else with it, but I can't. It's beyond my power, and so it will be spent on a wall. That's Biden's take on the whole thing.
Because he did it to avoid the shutdown.
Because he does not want that situation where the Republicans would be like, so you're building the wall, huh? Did you use Trump's specifications, or is this a fancier wall that you came up with? Oh, it's Trump's specifications. Oh. So he did 500 miles of it. How much have you put up? Well, we're building it right now. So it's just not a good conversation. It's better if he can be like, there's nothing we could do. Trump ordered it. The money's already on the way. I can't divert it, and I don't think it'll work. I
generally don't like the idea of a wall. It's not that I don't like the idea of a border, or an enforced border, but walls seem really asymmetrical in terms of like the cost and benefit. If you build a Ballard wall like those things, 15 minutes and a cordless angle grinder gets you through it. If you make it 4 foot thick and stone, then it's $1 trillion and a ladder defeats it. Like a wall just doesn't provide the benefit that its cost.
I mean, the goal was never for people to show up like a video game and be like, I can't get through this hedge. Like it was to slow down crossing so that border control could get there.
And that's feasible. For them to slow it down, at least, for sure. I
just don't know why they can't use like infrared cameras or something for a much more cost-effective way to get people to the right place.
They just need to start turning people away.
I think the amount of infrared cameras you would need would be just an operator.
One every quarter mile on a tower, operators and like that.
I think they already have those infrared cameras, and the purpose of them.
They do. I saw them on my
trip. That like the wall slows people down. Walls absolutely slow people down. That's why walls are everywhere. You want to prevent people and slow people from entering.
Yeah, they just built the wall that's between Poland and Ukraine is pretty ridiculous. No, it was between Belarus and whatever country that they were allowing all of those people to flow through. I remember there was some sort of a political thing where like they were sending all of the Belarusians advertised in Africa so that people would fly to Belarus and then they could pump them into, and I don't remember who the country right next to them is, but they were doing that to them. And so that country came to engineers in America and asked about our border wall, and they built one to stop that from continuing to happen. I can't remember what country that is. I don't fucking know.
Why don't we get in the wall business and build the absolute best walls in the world and then sell walls to all the countries that want them?
We need moats, people. Stop with the walls. Moats are clearly the answer. We've already got the Rio Grande right there.
Crocodile maintenance alone will drain the economy.
Now we're helping the
you don't have to maintain them. There's a fresh supply of food. I'm a lot more no mercy with this whole thing than I think the average person. I see them as invaders. Anyone who steps across that line, if I invaded Mexico on foot, I would expect to maybe get shot. That would not surprise me in the slightest. If I was shot by a Mexican for invading their country across their fucking border. We already agreed what that border was after the Mexican-American War, when we bullied that smaller country and took a third of their space.
Maybe it's time for War II, the Mexican-American War.
We should push it back a little more. I think that's what I would do.
I just want Baja, California.
Let's take Cancun.
in the interest of national security and the safety of the American public, we're pushing the border back. It's not good the way it is. We need a demilitarized zone. And so we're going to take 40 miles of Mexico, the entire length of the border. And that's not Mexico anymore. That's a DMZ. That's a neutral zone. And international law doesn't apply there, by the way. And
meanwhile, there's like so much population right up against America. Like Tijuana.
Oh, they're Americans now.
Gotta go.
Shit. No.
Yeah, I was going to say 40 miles in, and you got a lot of Mexico.
That's why it's a DMZ. They've got to evacuate that area. They're going to get pushed further back into Mexico. See how they like it.
Dude, if we're talking politics, have you followed the House of Rep lately?
Getting rid of the House. Good. I hope they shut it down so we can't waste any more money on Ukraine.
So here's what I need you to explain to me. Here's the part I'm foggy on. I don't understand this. Who was the Speaker of the House? His name
Kevin
was
McCarthy.
And he is a senator from California, right?
Maybe. I'm not sure. He's a Republican senator.
Republican senator.
House of Representatives. I said senator, made a mistake.
Oh, okay. So he's from the House. So he's a state representative from somewhere, Stan. And California. He was the Speaker of the House. I thought it was. So he's Speaker of the House. I thought I read that he lost his job as a representative. I know he's not the Speaker, but he doesn't get to vote as a representative of California anymore.
He has considered retiring, being like, all right, you don't want me to be Speaker anymore.
Okay, but
I'm going to leave this.
But on paper, he's still the
he still has his
from
job,
the 12th District of California. Okay, well then the article I read was just terribly confusing.
Misleading.
I didn't understand that. Yeah, they're like, he's been ousted from government, and it's like what, he can't vote anymore on
good. Get him out of here.
So Kevin McCarthy has 8 roughly people on the Republican side who seem to be impossible to please. And they're all like in this Freedom Caucus, these far right guys who they don't really compromise. Now, the Republicans don't own all 3 houses. So you have to compromise, or all 3 branches of government. So I'm looking for. So you can't just have exactly what you want. The Senate will clearly not agree with that. It's run by Democrats, and neither will the White House. But these guys are like, I guess they just wanted to keep trying, shut down the government, throw a fit until they get their way, which wasn't likely to happen. They're outnumbered. They don't own it. So, and it seemed like it was personal. One guy voted against him. He said he was going to pray on it. McCarthy made fun of him. And he's like, well, fuck it. I'm done praying. I'm voting you out. Matt Gaetz, it seemed
I like that.
He gave Matt Gaetz everything Matt Gaetz asked for.
And the Lord
it seems like what Matt Gaetz really wanted, he's going to run for governor after DeSantis' terms end. You can only have 2 consecutive terms in Florida. So Matt Gaetz is trying to get famous enough to be the next Florida governor. And that seems to be his primary motivation for leading the charge to get Kevin McCarthy out, to be like, I am going to fight for you guys, et cetera, et cetera. The problem is they don't really have a plan. They don't have a thing they want very much. They don't have any legislation. He just, even if he gets what he wants, he still ousted him. And they don't have someone they'd rather be Speaker. They don't have that plan at all. It's between 2 guys. One of them is
Patrick
like a
Henry?
rape apologist, and the other is you talking about the backup guy? Yeah, Jim Jordan apparently is like 15 people have come out saying he knew about the rapes that were happening on his college wrestling team and just told everyone not to talk about it. And then the other guy is a racist. Apparently he speaks with David Duke, their buddies, and he's like at these white nationalist things, raising money amongst racists with David Duke. Those are the 2 leading candidates to be the next speaker. Donald Trump.
Are you going to not take their money?
Well, you could go not speak at their events. I think that's the typical protocol. I don't think
they'll give you the money if you don't.
Yeah, touche. And then the third one they talk about is Donald Trump, but that's not realistic because you can't be the Speaker of the House if you're under indictment charges that could lead to more than felony indictment charges that could lead to more than a year in jail. So Trump isn't eligible.
They can change that rule. I think the Republicans made that rule like 15 years ago or something like that.
Yeah, that's a good point. But I don't know what it takes to change the rule. Is it just like a House rule the Republicans can decide
Probably
on?
Probably the Speaker to get anything done.
Do you need like the Senate to agree to it and the President to sign off on it? I don't know.
Right.
As soon as I heard about the vacancy and everything, I was like, oh man, is there any way to get Trump in there? Because that's the funniest move.
There is a way to get Trump in.
Leave it empty for a while.
Yeah. So if you're a Stats and Stories politics follower,
Oh yes.
it's just prime right now. This is like playoffs or something. This is like every day there's more like machinations and people going back and forth and details coming out, and it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I followed the Trump court stuff a little bit. That's another one where I'm not sure how they just. It seems like because I know they've accused him of 20 or 30 different things at least, but him overvaluing properties and leveraging that seems to be a big part of it. But
Yes.
I keep reading that they're going to take all of his properties away and auction them off.
The New York ones, which is kind of
the New York company owns the stuff though, like his
I'm pretty
Mar-a-Lago.
sure like Mar-a-Lago, for example, is not at risk, but I could be wrong. I see your look, and I'm not confident.
Yeah,
So maybe
I'm
you're
not
right.
either.
Yeah. But I think that we're talking about the New York real estate. I know he transferred Mar-a-Lago out of it to his son, but I don't know if that helps him or not.
Yeah, like Trump Tower is
Trump Tower's fine. Now, Trump Tower, to be clear, he just manages that building. Those are condos that he sold. Like, he doesn't own the whole building. He just sort of runs the elevators and the staff and maintenance fees and shit like that. But those are condos. The people who bought the condos own their condos.
Fair.
So anyway, but it looks like he got the corporate death penalty, which means they're going to auction off all his New York properties, which is interesting to me because this whole thing is about overvaluing his properties. So we're going to see if his stake in the Trump Tower is worth $7 quadrillion or not. We're going to see if this, that, and the other property are worth what he said they were or not, because they'll be for sale.
And who gets the money?
This seems
Trump.
ridiculous.
Yeah, so they're going to auction off his place. He's not allowed to do business in New York anymore because he's been committing, I guess, unprecedented levels of fraud in this thing for a long time. So,
I've never heard of such a thing.
Right?
No, it doesn't seem.
I've never
It seems like he's just having the kitchen sink thrown at him.
So
They're just
basically,
trying
they're going
every
to take all
possible
this.
thing.
This is what the defense always is, though. It's never that he's innocent. It's always that there shouldn't be any punishment. It seems like they're going at him pretty hard.
Well, it's that it's very flagrantly politically motivated. You think there aren't other New York big real estate moguls who are doing this shit? That would be my perspective.
Yeah.
It's
I think there's levels
why
to
is
this
he
game.
on the chopping block? Because
Trump,
he's running in the opposition party.
If these numbers aren't perfect, then they're close. He has a penthouse apartment in Trump Tower. It's about 10,000 square feet, which is a lot. But he just changed it to 33,000 on a whim and then made the value 8 times higher. But mind you, he didn't add any square footage. He just lied. He just made it up. And again and again, every time Trump gets in trouble for something, it's never that he's innocent. It's that, you know what? I bet the guy who's the attorney general doesn't like Trump. I bet that's the true thing. It's not, okay.
The attorney general's come out and said he doesn't like
he committed these crimes. That much, we can all agree on. But I think the only reason they're fussing about these crimes is that they don't like Trump. And I'm like,
yeah, I think that's salient. I think that all of these people at that level commit crimes like that, and it's because of who he is at this juncture in time. Why didn't they do this 20 years ago? He's
There's
been in real
a
estate
10-year
for half
span
century.
where Trump lost more money. This is on his 1040s. He claimed to have lost more money than every other American during that 10 years. He's the number one loser of money on his tax forms during that time. And I can't prove it, but I just don't buy it. Yeah. He claimed he has $1 billion or something that he lost. I think it was that's number one. It might have been number 2 loser in American over this 10-year period of time.
It was a good campaign debate moment where it was I used the rules. I used them to my favor. I was a businessman. And then
I remember that. Yeah,
it may have been a good debate moment, but it was a lie.
Right.
Really, he just broke the rules and lied about what he was losing and making. And anyone can do that. I used to do taxes. I've done thousands of tax returns, and people are like, let's get creative or whatever. This other guy gets creative. I'm like, that's not creative. Creative accounting is like setting up a partnership so that you can run your expenses into it and have tax pass-throughs or whatever. That's creative accounting. Creative accounting is a way for you to deduct your health insurance that you couldn't do as a sole proprietorship. Cool. This is just lying. This is just making up expenses that you didn't really have. That's not creative in the slightest. That's just criminal. And that's how I think.
What it feels like to me.
It's just a curious time for it to come up.
It's not even that. What it's curious is how quickly the wheels of justice move when we're going after Donald Trump. That's the only thing. I remember when I got arrested and they're like, yep, see you in 2 years. You know, it's like you knew it was going to be years from now when they got this one little thing like moved down the road. And this huge mass, imagine the man hours that the DA's office must have put in to getting this huge case together this fast. I would love to know how much money has been spent by the DA's office to get Donald Trump. It has to be thousands and thousands of man hours to go through that stuff. I know it was a lot of hours.
That should be going to Ukraine.
I don't think it's fast.
You're
think
right.
2 years to bring the case to trial, but I know
that's
positive.
Shockingly fast though for what this is, right? Like
well, you just said 2 years, and now 2 years is
for me. 2 years. It took them 2 years to get me.
You're kind of Trump adjacent, right? Billions of dollars in real estate dealings.
Dozens of charges.
There were grams and grams in that package.
You have to do like what do they call the forensic accounting, and there's expert witnesses, and come on, this is a massive deal.
I actually don't know how that timeline compares to the standard. I don't know.
Don't they have him in court like the day before Super Tuesday, something like that?
I think actually, or if it might be the day after. I'm not positive though, but it's something like that. Like one of the trials was set to that date.
Yeah, that
and they were like
an unbiased.
I remember they talked about it. That same judge had done like professional athletes, and they're like, yeah, we don't schedule trials around your job. We don't say like, you know what, the playoffs are coming up. We're gonna hold back the wheels of justice.
You think they just randomly were like, oh, that's when your.
I think that date's gonna change. It won't stick.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm sure that won't stick.
First one up rarely is the real one.
But the scheduling of that day feels like almost like make it the day. Yeah, then they'll have to ask and they'll make a big thing of it. It'll be funny.
Trump's gonna kill Super Tuesday. It won't matter.
I think I look forward to seeing this thing. Here's what I hope happens. I genuinely hope happens because it's the coolest timeline for me. And Trump's got to be the president, and then he's got to start. You. Well, I mean. No, going after his rivals and his enemies and locking them up, like that's what I hope happens. And I hope that it's just a real meltdown of the entire system that we see. That's what I'm looking for. We're just the hypocrisy that all caves in and creates just a mass that can't withstand gravity anymore, and it just collapses on itself, and we get a new system. Where we all just walk the earth wearing leather clothes that last our entire lifetime.
Why don't we give Kings a go again?
I think we're gearing up for that. I mean, I nominate King. I think, look,
we got like, you got a direct line of accountability with the King. Everything sucks. Like whose fault is it? Fucking that guy's.
Power corrupts, absolute. Yeah. Power corrupts, absolutely. I think I've heard this before. I just made that up.
That just came to me.
I would be okay with King. I would like.
I'm down for kings and queens.
But if we get a king, then I want a whole I want lords and ladies. I want there to be dukes.
100% a return of culture.
Yes, I want to be able to. I'd like horses to make a comeback. I'm being honest.
I'm fine with that.
The king, if we have horse-based economy,
70,
not be
we launched them into space at
recession.
69. If they make it that long as king, which a lot of kings don't make it that long because everybody goes, now there's not a circle of bureaucrats with unaccountability. There's one guy who's the king. And so
you want to be a king. Pick your king. You got 5 seconds.
Fuck, this is hard.
Defaulted to Joe Rogan. You fucked up. The world's ruined now.
No. It's not Joe Rogan. You know what? How about Joe Rogan can start and we see where it goes? Actually, no, I don't want Joe Rogan as the king.
Alex Jones.
Who would be a good one? No, I don't want him either. I don't want a fat. I don't want a fat king. He has to be fit. I mean, not that Joe Rogan's fat. Joe Rogan's fit, but
how about that? Well, that guy's British. I was going to pick your smart British guy. Maybe a black
Brian
science
Cox.
man. I nominate Neil deGrasse Tyson. I want black science man in there.
no, that guy with his fucking smarmy tweets. None of that. No, he can't be king.
You're like, you just don't understand taxes. You guys keep asking me about this money. All it is you can't do math.
Taxes, money's not even real. It's actually just a system of numbers held together by central
All right.
banks. And then it's
We
like,
need a
shut
good
up, Neil.
king with abs.
And he cannot currently be in politics. That would be a rule. Is when we move back to kings, no one who's been involved in any way at any level of American politics is eligible. We send them all to Madagascar.
Terry Crews. He
John
did great
Cena.
as Camacho.
No, I don't like Terry
That's
Crews.
the first one I've been kind of okay with.
No, you cup that guy's ass. He folds like a house of cards.
John Cena. How about John Cena?
It's not nice. I picked
He's
John
popular.
Cena.
John Cena is popular in China, and so that's a natural.
Oh, he speaks
ally.
Mandarin.
He speaks Mandarin. He's jacked. He is always went for his campaign
you
to be
seen-
king.
he
He
does a
can
lot of
show
charity.
all those times that he helped people with the Make-A-Wish Foundation. He's like the most Make-A-Wish guy ever. So
He's got a great
All
TV
right,
show.
you're getting me with the Make-A-Wish thing, but I'm on Colby Covington, and I think he can even beat up John Cena if you need him to.
Oh, he destroyed John Cena. Yeah, for sure.
and
He got a
he's
similar body type.
is he that really good-looking guy?
Colby's got
No,
that cardio.
Sage
though. He'll
Northcutt.
wrestle, fuck him into that.
Oh, he's the outrageously good-looking
He's the
one.
good-looking
Colby's a good-looking guy, though.
Yeah.
So far,
he's the one
I'm liking
with
John Cena.
on Colby's social media posts. He begins all of them the same way. He's like, "What's up, nerds and virgins?" And he's always got like a couple of bimbos with him. And he's like, I was gonna beat up the king of stink, Marvin Vittori, on April 5th, but he's a fucking coward and not an American. So instead,
Yeah.
I'm gonna beat up that." And then he'll just borderline racist dog whistle. Like, just
I know
go
who
right
I
into
want.
it. He's
Sean
fun.
Strickland. That's who I want as king. I want a warrior king. That guy. He's going to be coming out and about he's going to be direct with his people. He's going to tell us what's going on under the surface. Yeah. Sean Strickland.
My honest answer is probably going to be Bill Belichick. I think that
Bill Belichick.
No.
Okay. Maybe 10 years ago, Bill Belichick.
you know who, here's who I actually think could become president if they wanted to. The Rock. I think The Rock I think betting that The Rock will someday be the president is a pretty good bet because you'd get great odds, and I think it's fairly likely.
Do you think he'd be a good king? The Rock.
Yeah. Well, no.
You know who'd be a half-decent king? Michael Dubin. He's the guy that founded Dollar Shave Club and made those funny commercials. He's been on the show.
Okay.
I don't know what he's up to.
Why him? Why would he be a king?
How about the My Pillow guy?
He's funny and he's a businessman. That's enough.
The My Pillow guy.
Funny businessman, please. We've been down this road. It's great. Right?
Yeah. Trump is a funny businessman, and
there you go.
But he's been involved in politics, so he's ineligible
he's
for
ineligible.
kingship. Yeah, no.
Baron Trump, the tallest king ever.
Damn, the name Baron lends itself to
King
kingship.
Baron Trump.
Yeah,
And he fucking and the fucking like 10,000 big horns. Dun, 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 dun. He fucking walks.
I would
out.
like that.
He's
But,
got,
you
a
know,
lion, he's got a lion head on each shoulder as like a shoulder piece.
okay,
yeah.
all right.
Okay, all right.
Every time he
right.
takes a step, a slave darts in front of him and gets their back in the way so that his foot will catch perfectly
Never touches
as
the
he
ground.
steps down from his
You think
litter.
that King Baron would bring slaves back? I don't think so.
Oh, he's bringing slaves back. We're gonna have white slaves this time. It's the classiest of slaves.
No,
You know how you know
there
when
should be
remix.
no
when you-
discrimination. Every race should be able to be a slave.
It's like
in
landscapers.
Baron's
Like,
America.
you can tell like the people who really have money have white landscapers.
Joffrey. Well, this is Baron Trump a foot and a half ago.
King Job.
Like,
Dude, he's that. Yeah, that's a while ago. I've last time I saw him, he was gigantic. Like he looked like legitimately 6'6", 6'7" or something.
damn.
Like gigantic.
yeah. So who would your actual king pick be, Kyle? And Josh,
It's
who would your
hard.
king
if
pick
you want some,
be?
and they're going to be like the de facto like king of America.
They're the
That-
king. But it's a king, remember? And so if they really just fumble the bag, what happens to kings that fumble the bag? They get
No
got
head.
real fucking quick. And then the guy who replaces him, that guy better fucking fix shit. Otherwise, he's going to get got too. So You would absolutely have to hit the ground running as king. You'd have to. You can't be mealy mouth and deliberating.
Yeah.
You got to be immediate king.
Barron Trump 6'8", apparently. I don't know. I would want someone. I think I'd want a smart person. Legitimately, I'd want like an intelligent person who also sort of had some sort of moral view on the world, or at least had some patriotism is important to me, because I don't want some fucking do-gooder who's like, oh, inequality. Every American should be so much poorer. Like, I don't want that. I do want someone who's like an American first kind of guy.
A Solomon kind of character.
I saw something the other day, and it was these German people. We have American first, and we're like, what about us? And it's like, yeah, not you. That's what. Second place at best, bitch. Stay in line. Like that's what. When we say America first, we mean all of you behind us. That's what we mean. Just so you know, international people
after America, probably China.
We believe. We know. It's
China.
True. And you're like, first in what? Scooter shootings? Ha 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 ha. True.
Yes. Amongst many categories, school shooting is one of them.
What are you first in Germany? Fucking
also,
probably engineering. So don't count nothing that you can't count engineering.
Automobiles.
German engineering.
Wars lost.
Okay.
World wars lost. Like you're piling those up. You invented the highway system, though. That's pretty sweet. We copied it, though.
We did copy it, and we have a bigger country, so we got to have
clover
more
leaves, off ramps, all that shit. They invented.
We win again.
Shit didn't exist before.
Maybe a professional athlete would be a good king. Someone
Which one,
like that? Wayne Gretzky.
Why Wayne Gretzky? He can't even coach.
Because he's the GOAT.
At what? Playing hockey?
Yeah.
He can't coach a team. Does his team suck?
No, okay, fucking okay, that's an excellent point. He wasn't a good coach, not Wayne Gretzky.
That's why I went with Bill Belichick. But then I remember, since Tom Brady's been gone, I think he's like a 44% win rate.
How about someone fun
like
throw Dave Portnoy in there?
Dave Port. Okay. No, all right. So let me say this. I like Dave Portnoy. I like his content, and I watch it always. He's got a mean, petty streak to him sometimes, which you wouldn't want to be the king of the world.
Got the Targaryen in him, huh?
Yeah.
Every now and then somebody will say, remember that guy the other day, it was a pizza owner. He comes out, he's like, hey, eat your pizza and go. How about that? How about I don't like being rated by the likes of you? How about that? I don't like what your business. And he's like, your shirt's 5 sizes too small, you piece of shit. Get the fuck back in there. You know what? 1.2. You just made a mistake. With your tight ass shirt. 5 sizes too small. Boy, and this business owner in front of his business, and I'm like, I scroll down to see how many millions of people have watched it, and are all like, "Let's get him. Where does he live?" I'm like, it's a little too petty.
Ain't that heavy?
My politics don't align with Dave Portnoy, but I've looked past that recently, and I have to be impressed with what he's doing with his life. Right? That business move he made. How did he get such a good offer? How did that possibly happen?
I saw him at like an Antifa type thing the other day. They got signs and shit down capitalism or whatever. And he's like, hey, you don't like capitalism? You know why? I bet you've never been to a $20 million house in Nantucket. That's where I go. I'm going to go to my $20 million house off Nantucket. You ever been there? It's beautiful. Like I almost verbatim, he's telling this poor kid this. He's like, yeah, of course you don't. You never been in a $20 million house in Nantucket. That's where I'm going tonight. See you later, loser. And it's like, man, yeah, I think you're supposed to be above this.
No, that's why he's funny. Is he's not above that. He will just get in
dude, aren't you worth 9 figures? Why are you here shitting on this college kid, bragging about your house in Nantucket, which I'm sure is incredible.
He's a content guy, so he's going for that, I would imagine.
I like it. I've always liked.
Yeah, actually, he's my front runner for king so far. Throw Dave Portnoy in the mix. Let's see what happens.
Keep doing pizza. That's all I need from Dave Portnoy. I'm happy that he's got so much money. He can be like, you know what? Fuck you. Maybe I'll buy your business and ruin it. It's like, well, all right, hang on a minute. I'll do that. Like, it's scary when someone worth $100 million doesn't like you personally in the street all of a sudden, and you're a business owner, right? Especially when they got a media empire. Yeah. So
there was that really viral clip
more
of him
power.
Just like a week ago or so that he found out that some other news organization was writing a hit piece on him before they released it. And he live streamed himself calling the reporter and roasted the reporter and had an argument with her on the phone for 15 minutes of and it was skeevy reporter shit the lady was doing. He was like, hey, so I'm calling because you fucking said that I'm a a bad guy, a bigot, misogynist, whatever, and you're hitting up all of my, because he hosted a giant pizza event.
It's huge.
For a huge pizza event for a bunch of small businesses that he'd reviewed before to come and set up there so that people could go to this festival and try all these pizzas. And, they're all small businesses. They're all pizza places. And he was like, so you guys are reaching out to the companies that I invited to my pizza festival and you're threatening them? You're like saying that things might go bad for them if they don't drop out or like don't give you dirt on me or something? Like, what's the deal with that? And she let off with like, no, that's not true. And like, he was like, really? Because here's an email you sent that was just forwarded to me by one of those companies that says like, and it was literally like the reporter threatening the business, being like, you're associating yourself with this person who we don't like at the Washington Post or whatever. This could go badly for you if it were to get out. And it's like, just scumbag shit. And then the reporter was like, well, that's a tactic we reporters use to get a response. It's like, really? You just threaten businesses for associating with someone you don't like? A guy who's like biggest offense, as far as I know, about Dave Portnoy is like being bombastic and ridiculous. Like, what the fuck? That's just scumbag journalist behavior. Glad he live streamed that. That was funny.
Yeah, I like that he utilizes that power. He's well aware of the power that he has, and he usually uses it to help his buddies, which I guess is admirable as well. It's hard.
Trump wants to be the Speaker of the House. Like, there's been updates since the show started, and I guess he's saying that, if you guys can't agree to Speaker of the House, I'll take it. I'm running for president, so maybe 90 days I'll be your Speaker. He's just going to add that to his resume and do the job. That
would be really cool. It can be anyone. There's no prerequisite for Speaker of the House. You can be the Speaker.
I didn't know that.
Be like, you know what, this Matt Woodworth guy making a lot of fucking sense.
The only
can you be here by noon tomorrow?
I've heard of is the one about not being on felonies, but I just read like the Republicans are likely to ignore that rule. It's not a law. Remember, I said I don't know. Maybe the Senate and the president. It's a rule. Rules are meant to be changed. So
that's not what they say, but I get your point.
Well, I didn't mean to say broken. I meant to say they probably. I said what I did on purpose. But
I love that timeline. Make him Speaker of the House. I love that these accomplishments that these hardworking other people who are like Washington ilk like would have dreamt of. Like, oh my God, can you believe there's only been 57 Speakers of the House in the history of our country? Can you believe it? Yeah, it's quite an accomplishment to be one. And then you add Trump's name to that list, and it stays there forever.
Yeah. There's only been, I forget.
I don't know.
I think there's been 3 Speakers of the House this century. Something like that. Like, it's not one that happens a ton.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I don't pay attention.
Maybe there's 4, but they pretend there's 3 because there's that Republican dude who was the rapist. And they just removed him from the wall. There's no painting of him.
Damn. I don't know anything about that either. Well, I hope they make him Speaker of the House. It'd be really funny. And that's all I care about. That's what I want from my politics. I want humor. I love, and this is sports too, when they're like, never happened before. Can you believe this sequence has never occurred before? I love that. Like, you're seeing a historic first. It's great.
He was a pedophile rapist.
Shit.
His victim was 9 or 10 years old. He was he was a wrestling coach or something, and he raped his wrestlers.
He's the Speaker of the House.
Republican Speaker of the House, yeah. Yeah, they kind of just removed him from the book. It wasn't long ago either. Like,
but the asterisk on him, like it was Balco days. Jesus Christ. I always go back to this. A lot of pedophiles.
99 to 207. 99 to 207. 2007. I said it wrong.
Yeah. No, that's what works. Well,
So,
I didn't know anything about that. What was his name?
Dennis Hastert. Let me make sure that the Dennis. Yeah, I'm right.
Oh, I don't know. That name kind of rings a bell, but it's just something I heard on the news a long time ago, as far as I know.
Yeah.
No, I'd love for Trump to get in there. I love the Trump story. I hope that he gets in and gets to do more stuff. And I really hope that he doesn't die before we get like his full story. I want to see the full Trump story. I want him to get to a clear conclusion. If he became president, That's a good bookend right there. Like whatever, however this presidency ends, that's how we'll end your biography for sure. Like we're not going to continue on. There's going to be a happily ever after, or there's going to be some text
Right.
after the presidency in your.
I feel like this ends one of two ways. One, he's the president. He kind of pardons himself, or he just says, "Fuck you. Go ahead, states, enforce your jail against me. Get and try.
Come get me."
Or the other is he ends up in some sort of gold-plated toilet prison thing, right? Where like
house
he's
arrest, surely
confined to Mar-a-Lago to play golf for the rest of his days.
Yeah, I hope that's the worst they do. I hope they don't try to put that man in a real prison because what are you doing?
People say, for whatever that's worth, that's not really on the list of possibilities. That he's never going to go to a real prison surrounded by Secret Service, kept safe. That right? Yeah, like
I think if he did go to prison, he'd have to go to the Florence, Colorado maximum supermax. I mean, I don't see any other. They'd either have to do that or that because they wouldn't let him mix with the normal population. Period. So
it makes so much more sense. It's so much cheaper. Send him home. Put a bracelet on his ankle.
Right. My idea was like empty out an entire wing of a minimum security place that's a little more comfortable. Where
that's more realistic. To be fair,
you just need a cell somewhere. You know, you like I don't know why he needs. I don't know. It's an unfathomable thing. I really hope they don't try to incarcerate a former president while he's running and leading to become president again. That could end poorly. Like maybe we have a little revolution, or maybe some of the military doesn't like the way that goes. You know what I mean? Like that seems crazy talk to me.
In theory, this New York case doesn't break him financially. Like they're talking about a $250 million fine, which presumably he has, and he'll certainly have if they sell all his properties, like against his will. They're going to auction off his stuff. So it definitely puts a dent in like his legacy to some extent. Yeah. But like, I don't know.
He could probably just wave his hand over it and make it all go away if he wins, though. Like, let's say they order him to pay the $250 million and take all of his shit away. I would imagine that takes more. They don't just do it instantly. I would hope. There's like people who the ownership. I don't know.
It's New York and it's civil, so the president doesn't have the power to make it go away. But does the president have the power to make it go away?
You know, I believe that also technically the prison wouldn't be on the line for it.
I'm sorry, say that again.
I think that also means that in this particular case, the prison wouldn't be on the line, right? Can you go to prison for a civil suit?
Oh no, you can't. You're right. Yeah.
But still, I mean,
the whole thing's absurd. Did you see that clip? It's it's set to Friends music, and it's like President Trump. The camera's panning around the courtroom. It's like Trump. There's the prosecution, and they're giggling and having a good time. There's I don't know Latita Brown or whatever her name is, the lady from New York who's like pushed all these charges. She's back there staring daggers into the back of Trump's head, like clearly malicious and like this is all about her hatred for Trump, or at least it factors in. And then like camera flicks up to the judge, and the judge is like, "Hi!" Like takes his glasses off, and he's smiling. And he goes, well, it's so funny. And but Trump did not look like he's having a good time. Look, the last time somebody upset Trump this much, it was when Obama tried to embarrass him at that correspondence dinner, and he responded by becoming the president of the United States. They need to leave him alone. I hope he doesn't die because of this or during this. I hope we get to see, like I said, either find him guilty and it doesn't work out and he doesn't become president, or I really want to see him run again. I want to see if he can do it, because Biden is just weaker by the day. Not that Trump isn't. I mean, it's not like Trump's getting stronger, but Biden's on a steeper slope.
I'd like to see Trump literally run. Show me that.
No, I don't want to see that.
I want to see it. And I want to see it shirtless.
Ooh.
I don't think he could run really. It'd be like one of those little like jogs,
step jog
sort of thing. Yeah.
It must be. Yeah.
Most of the people in politics right now can't run. I don't think.
Dude, it's getting older and older.
Physically
like it's not just perception. Like the average age of these people is just climbing by way more than lifespans are increasing.
We had a sitting politician drop dead a few days ago at 90 years old. I mean,
Feinstein. Yeah.
That's so
that just dropped out of nowhere.
She voted the same week she died.
So
see what I mean?
I guess Nancy Pelosi wanted her to hold her seat so that she could retire at the end of her term, and Adam Schiff would run, but not like trying to remember. So she wanted Adam Schiff, and then the rumor was Gavin Newsom, who gets to appoint it, wanted somebody else, maybe Katie Portler. And in the end, Gavin Newsom picked this chick that seems like a lobbyist insider, kind of raising money for Gavin's campaign. And now she's a senator and gets the something of an incumbent advantage if she wants to hold the job. It felt dirty. And I try to be honest in this stuff, like whether it's blue or red, but I have my biases. But this is blue, and it looked dirty. Looked like he put this. She wasn't a politician. Like, I think if you're a senator, if you're going to put someone in the Senate seat, they should maybe currently be some sort of politician, maybe in the House of Rep already, and then escalate them.
Yeah.
But instead, he just grabs like the person who raised the money for his campaign and made her senator.
Yeah. That's what I would want to do. That's the number one job in the military, if you ask me. It's operating a drone from safety, wherever that is. Like, maybe you got to be in Germany, or maybe you've got to be like quasi in the battlefield, like it's right over that ridge. That's where they are. But like, you're still the safest guy out there.
I don't think you should be able to. Yeah, I don't think they should be giving out medals for the drone guys who are like in Texas.
What?
Like, what?
I don't know about
Purple Heart. You fucking my ACL.
My carpal tunnel.
You get a paper cut in your
gaming so hard.
All right, Purple Heart for drone operation is hilarious.
I love that idea. I like that you would fake a thumb injury or like a hangnail to get one.
You get $4,800 a month for the rest of your life because you hurt your thumb on the keyboard.
Because that's how it works. If you're in, like, I'm sure you've seen those examples. There's the one guy in Band of Brothers, I think, who's got 4 Purple Hearts, and one of them was for lancing a boil on his ass that he got while in the field fighting the enemy. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't think we're going to count that boil on your ass. So, like, I shed blood in service of my country in the field of battle. Say I didn't. Well, you're actually
technically.
Here you go.
Yeah,
I heard that in Vietnam, that medals got much easier to earn. It was part of like a morale effort.
And there were way more people, percentage-wise, who were injured and wounded, right? Than World War II.
The amount of time that they were in combat was way more. Yeah. So I'm sure it was both. I'm sure they're like, hey, we don't have any bonuses or beer, but we got medals. Can we go home if we get a medal? Oh, no. We're going to need heroes for the fight ahead.
And also, people were protesting Vietnam, like it was not a popular war at all. So makes sense. They might start dishing out the medals, I guess. Try and make people feel like, oh, we're rewarding the soldiers, stop spitting on them, please.
I think Vietnam's my second favorite war. Like, World War II takes the cake. Like, that's the fucking goat.
Wait, all-time wars? Both of your top two are in the 20th century? Oh, okay.
American wars.
No, like Napoleon's fucking champ.
That was a cool war.
You gotta go back to that.
He was the champ.
He's the champ. Like, he conquered Europe, and they were like, oh, get out of here. And he was like,
he became the king of Italy at one point, just throwing another W in the mix.
You know what they did to him after he like slaughtered all of Europe a couple times? They gave him his own island to retire on. Like what the fuck? Like get out of here.
Yeah, they banished him, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Banishment to his own private island with like a castle on it.
It's like a war hall of fame that he got to go live there.
But yeah, Vietnam is.
I didn't know he had servants and stuff.
That's a silver medal war there. Now I know people like to say, oh, America lost. Come on, like by what measurements did we lose? I don't think we ever lost a battle. Kill-death ratio, battles won. All right, we all show up here and we fight it out.
Yeah, I feel like Kyle's playing
still
for
here
KD
and they're all
ratio,
dead.
and the Vietnamese played for wins. So at the end of the day,
they played domination.
They owned more land. They won domination, and Kyle got a good KD and thinks he did well, but you didn't.
But what is the ultimate goal of why we went to the war? Are we trying to? And I'm not saying that specifically for Vietnam. I mean, in general, would that not be considered the victory, is to obtain what your initial military goal was? If that's toppling an empire, whatever it may be, taking over a capital city. However, if you don't achieve that goal, it then defaults to the KD ratio and domination. And by that, we won big time, baby.
It's our space race.
If you look at Vietnam today, like they're democratic, and I'm sure they've got, or not. I don't know if they're democratic or not, probably, but they're definitely they're capitalist. Right? Yeah. And they seem to be on team us. It's interesting. I always hear that when Americans go there, they're like, hey,
don't shoot.
I had to look it up.
Welcome back.
Vietnam is
Chill.
a socialist republic with a one-party system led by the Communist Party. So that's pretty.
That doesn't sound good.
I mean, to be
No,
fair,
That is an L.
I'm down with that and
That is
all.
an L.
I get that, but I also say that most communist countries or quote unquote communist countries have no choice but to engage in some form of capitalist trade with capitalist countries, you know. So
Sure,
they're
I'm
like
for that.
functioningly, they're capitalists, but in regard to oppressing their people, they're socialist.
Yeah,
You know.
But if
sure,
all it takes to like qualify as capitalist is like some form of trade, then every nation is capitalistic.
That's a good point. Yeah. I was thinking more of like the global market of exchanging currencies and things as opposed to, you know, them trying to be self-contained and we can take care of this ourselves. But that's a very good point. I mean, bartering is bartering. It is a part of all trade systems.
What surprised me, the third largest weapons exporter on the planet is South Korea.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't
know
US,
that.
Russia, then South Korea.
Apparently,
Apparently,
it's us, Russia, and then South Korea.
yes, for export.
South Korea is probably going to be ahead of them this year.
Ahead of Russia.
I think I heard that too. Yeah, because
It's
Russia's
exports.
not exporting anymore.
Yeah.
they need their guns.
And South Korea apparently makes really good shit because they like South Korea and North Korea have been prepping for war for 70 years. Their stockpiles are enormous. North Korea tends to go with huge stockpiles of shitty stuff, and South Korea tends to go with smaller stockpiles of more high-tech stuff, which is why their exports are interesting.
Yeah, Europe's arming itself right now. Poland in particular is building the biggest like military in Europe right now, and they're buying they're buying a mix.
Were you inside the car?
Apparently, it's hard to sell yourself sold directly to Satan himself, but there's like 16 demons or something. And I was reading up, and like each one you would approach that demon because they provide help with X, Y, or Z. There's like the same way, like, oh, this is Saint Christopher. It's for when you lose something or whatever that nonsense is. There's like a demon for like gaining power over people, or maybe a demon for gaining possession. There's like 16 or 18 of them.
I imagine the demon that gives cash just has a line out the door, right? That like also health issues maybe
Financial value
comes to mind, but
yeah,
the health issues demon. Yeah, that seems like a risk.
Yeah, but if there's any actual demon worshippers out there who would like a fresh soul, let us know. I'm currently looking around for someone who's interested.
Looking for a good deal.
Yeah, Josh, would you sell your soul to the devil for something? Because Kyle and I are big time team. Don't sell your soul to the devil.
Let me lay out the
Woody
scenario.
doesn't care. Woody treats it like it's some blasé thing.
Yeah, let me lay out the exact scenario. So.
No, don't think I won't get competitive offers from the Tooth Fairy.
So I'm talking about getting a guy in the call who's an actual like demon worshiper or some sort of grand wizard of them or some such, and he enter into a contract with Woody. And meanwhile, Woody has a piece of paper that I've mailed him that has the contract written out, and then he lances his thumb, puts a little bloody thumbprint on there, whatever, and agrees to sell his soul to this man as a middleman for the devil, I suppose, or some demon. And make the whole thing official. And I was just saying, I would not do that.
No, I don't think so, man. I mean, like theoretically, I don't remember ever having been just a soul. If you're signing this contract, that means it exists. You're going on to somewhere. If that's true, this paper proves it or whatever, then I don't want to risk the ownership of that. I don't know. I'm just going to take my odds.
The contract doesn't just prove that the buyer's stupid. If
that's the case, then sure. But I mean, if we're talking about this supernatural paranormal scenario where you're going to get this result
that's
for
the
your
point.
soul.
I'm not sure. No,
we don't know.
I am not sure. I am 99% sure that my soul will not then be in possession of a demonic, otherworldly being.
Oh, okay. So you're saying on the just in case.
Sure. But in case.
Yeah, this is like a PKA fan
motherfucker.
That claims
I've never had a car accident in my life. Every time, clickety click, clickety clack, buckle it up. Not selling my soul to any no.
I guess you got a good point. It's a little bit too high risk for potential reward there. I guess you got a good point. Even if you take that philosophically, if it's a 1% chance, of this eternal thing going on, then maybe you're right. Maybe you shouldn't trade it for the next 50 years of success,
Let's say that you're not selling your soul. That
selling somebody else's done.
Death or $10 million. It's not 50-50, 99% chance you get the cash. Would you roll the dice on that?
Nah.
How do you die?
Quickly.
Instantaneous death?
Yeah.
Do you know that you got it wrong?
It'd be like the Thanos
hit the button and fall.
Where you do sort of A
be honest
painless
with you. Look,
turn into dust.
I didn't think I'd make it this far, and this
Oh, me too.
the world.
You didn't think you'd make it to 37?
Oh, I thought
I
I
didn't think I'd make it to 30.
like 10 years ago.
I thought you were going to blow yourself up.
Every
10
time I
years
pulled
ago.
that trigger, I was like, "Here we go."
You did almost die a couple times. That's true.
I figured something would happen.
I just
But,
recently saw on Twitter that video. Oh my god!
It crops up
like-
every once in a while, and everyone's
like
like, "Where's FPS Russia? I wish he would come back."
If you think of it like, that, right, where like I don't even know I've gotten it wrong, I'm just gone. Yeah, why not push the button? Why not push the button? You'll never know what happened. Either A, now you've got $10 million, or B, silence.
Ride's over.
You do that
Silence.
a 50-50 shot. You would hit that button.
I thought he said 99.
No, I said 99 to 1.
Oh,
Oh,
99 to 1.
I'd give you better odds than that, Taylor.
He'll take 75.
Can I pull it twice?
That's an interesting follow-up question. How many times would you pull it? Is 10
Double
million
or I'd get my 10, I'd be like, double or nothing. And the devil would be like, what does that even mean? Like,
No,
I
you
get
hit
an
the bank
extra
account.
I want a 1-up like Mario, motherfucker. I get a 1-up, extra life, pling, up in the top right of the corner of the screen, or you get the soul and 10 million. He'd be like, shit.
This guy's a good bargainer.
One of those souls that I already took off somebody. I could get it if we go on a roll against Satan. Man, what do you value a 1-up as? A 1-up is worth way more than $10 million.
Yeah,
He's gonna bamboozle you. Like,
I
I
wanna
don't think
know-
you want to get in you don't want to get in a negotiating battle with
Why do you
the
think
devil.
the 1-up is so valuable? Like, what happens when you
9
exercise
lives,
it?
right? You die and then you
It's like you
don't.
fall over dead and then you stand right back up. Good as new.
Okay, Kyle.
And hopefully they replace the kidney failure or
Shockingly,
whatever.
you made it
Yeah.
to 81 years old. You can
Yeah.
hardly remember your name. You drool a little bit, and you don't
Yeah.
walk so well. You die.
Okay.
Now you bounce back. You drool a little. You can't remember your name, and you don't walk
Clearly.
so well.
Clearly
What
you
kind of
haven't
deal
played
is this?
Mario 3, Mario World. Woohoo! He's running around, fucking swinging that feather thing, doing his spins. He hits one of those plants, potter plants or whatever, falls. He's little Mario again.
Now he shrinks
I'll just be
down.
little Kyle again. I'll die as the 81-year-old, and I'll fucking 1-up, like and I'll be little Kyle, and I'll be like, shit, let's do this again with our $10 million. We took off $20 million. We took off.
How
the devil.
little? Like, you need to find new parents.
I want to be 8. I want to be
You wanna
8 years old, because at 8 years old, you're physically strong enough to like manipulate the world around you. You could pull switches and
With an
knobs, and
adult
operate
brain.
door handles and everything. And but dude, you could walk right up to anybody and punch them in the dick, and they can't say shit. Not only that, you're an 8-year-old worth $20 million. You're like Macaulay Culkin. You're. That's better
It's your
than
shit.
anything you could imagine. Now, yeah, I'm pulling the button twice, Woody. That's my answer. I'm pulling it twice. If the devil will give me the 1-up and let me be childlike Macaulay Culkin who punches people in the dick with $20 million.
I don't
think
want
it's
to
a
be
bad
8.
deal.
I want to be 16 because I can't wait 8 years to come again.
And to come and wait. What do you
I'm
mean?
not
8
gonna
years old. You
wait.
just
I'm
have to
gonna-
wait 3 years. You just have
So
to.
which is worse? Which is worse? As an 8-year-old with an 80-year-old mind, is it worse to find yourself some 9-year-old poon, or to like find some pedophile out there who's down?
Ooh,
Those are both
worse?
reprehensible.
I don't know. My
Just
knee-jerk
awful.
reaction was, if you're down and you have adult like competency and thought processes, you're practically doing the Lord's work by satisfying this guy's needs.
Wait, so you're not even like getting to enjoy childhood again in your own scenario? You, like-
Childhood? My brain in that body. Fuck childhood. Did you have fun?
yeah, a lot of.
Oh,
it was
let's do
pretty
high
fun.
school all over while we're at it. Get the hell out of here. No, we're not doing school.
You're going to be
School?
taken into a foster home and abused, and Satan will be laughing. And then
That
they're
was
gonna
like-
the state is gonna
My-
claim your 20 million
I'll have
because
a-
they don't just
No,
let that hang out
no,
in the account for an
no.
8-year-old.
My British lawyer, Mr. McGovern's, whatever I say, he has power of attorney over me. But my other dude, fucking Franz, he'll kill that motherfucker if he does anything I don't like. So the triumvirate that I've created with me at the head, we can do anything legally speaking as an 8-year-old millionaire.
Not at all. You're 8 years old. Franz is going to be hammering toothpicks under your fingernails until you give him the password, and then he has 20 million, and you're
Password?
8.
That's just not what world are we living in where a password gives away my fortune?
A bank account, like whatever.
I've got cash. I haven't invested. I deserve to lose if I haven't invested my money in properly. What are we doing with a 1-up? I haven't invested. Oh, come on!
I don't know if you can have an investment account at 8.
Power of
think you can.
attorney.
Yeah.
He's calling the shots.
We're making
right.
all this happen.
So you have kind of a blank check situation going on here. Actually, that movie didn't pan out either.
I think that if you can prove you are earning your own living, you can like get all this adulthood stuff ahead of schedule.
Yeah,
I forget the word for it, but that's
Emancipation. Like
that's about leaving your parents. No,
Like a financial version.
Yeah,
I know.
Financial.
I hear celebrities doing it occasionally. You got those kids who are like, "You're taking all my goddamn money. What are you talking about? I'm the one in makeup at 5 a.m. since I was 7."